I think the international community needs to go further. Unfortunately, they're not enough to stop the war. These are quite serious sanctions, but they will only start working in the medium run. They will put more pressure on Russia's economy in the medium run. And unfortunately, that's not enough to stop the war because Russia is still selling oil and gas in large amounts at record prices to Europe. And that allows it to fill its coffers and continue financing the war.
Mm-hmm. So what else would you like to see then? You mentioned there oil and gas. Would you like to see sort of European nations completely cut themselves off from Russian oil and gas?
Well, at least in a stepwise embargo. That's right. So we need to put pressure. For example, oil is about 1/3 of Russia's revenues in terms of the budget revenues, and oil is relatively easy to substitute away from. So Europe could relatively easily start putting an embargo on oil sales from Russia to Europe, so oil imports from Russia, and that is quite realistic, and that would put serious pressure on Russia's ability to keep financing the war effort.
Mm-hmm. So, Alexander, I want to ask, I mean, you've been in the president's inner circle throughout the invasion. What has that been like, and what sort of pressure have you felt on your shoulders?
Well, we've had pressure, enormous pressure on all of us over the last month and a half, ever since the war started. We've had to restructure the way we work, restructure the way we live. We've had to go way beyond our usual spheres of responsibility. I was mainly responsible for economic areas before the war. Now it's much broader than that. It's weapons, it's negotiations, it's speaking to politicians, media, and so on. So it's quite difficult.
Mm-hmm. And Arlene just now spoke about the new Russian general who's been drafted in. Does that make you concerned, given his sort of past track record in Syria?
That's right. So we've heard this actually a couple of days ago. Well, I wouldn't say it makes us any more worried than, given what we've already seen. I don't think, Russia's track record in Syria is particularly good or, speaks for their particular efficiency or effectiveness or skill. So we'll see what happens. But certainly the bloodbath on their side will continue.